BIGBIG One recently announced an update to their Gale line of controllers. This time they're updated with Hall effect joysticks, hence the name Gale Hall. As much as many companies are hopping on the Hall effect bandwagon, there's good reason why. Hall effect joysticks are supposed to significantly reduce the likelihood of stick drift. The only controllers I've seen that have had trouble with stick drift were the Joy-Cons made by Nintendo. It is criminal how often those Joy-Cons and even some of the Nintendo Pro controllers go out on people. But back to the matter. A disclaimer to my viewers. BIGBIG One sent me this controller to review. I haven't been paid to say anything specific by them, so all thoughts and opinions are mine and mine only. So now on to the unboxing. Alright, so let's start with the unboxing. Cable's already pre-cut, so let's check to see what's inside. Okay, so here you have the controller, and it has two thumbstick protectors, which is nice. Both made of styrofoam. So there's the controller from the front view, side. No audio jack, if that means anything to you. And you can play it with the phone clip. Right, and this must be the wireless adapter, the dongle. All right. A little bit on the smaller side, but put it back in the bag. Alright, this is cool. It actually comes with what looks to be a charging stand. So there you are, and then put the controller on top. Obviously connected via USB-C. And these three connectors here, you see right there, connect to those three. So it looks like it's kind of laying down, maybe? Yeah. So, there it is. Let's check to see what's under the box. Well, hey, this is cool. Different thumbsticks. So you have different heights. It's nice to know that they included these. And a rubber cable. It is not braided, so a little bit on the lower end side. Then their promotional card, and it's actually in Japanese with a little bit of English. And their instruction booklet is an actual booklet, staples and all. Not a roadmap like how typically GameSir and FlyDigi do theirs. And their instructions are completely in English. I'm sure there are in other languages too later on. Yep, I was right. This is probably Chinese. And then Japanese. So, it's covered in 3 languages. And it looks like this is the quality seal of approval. Kind of gives it a GameSir vibe. But yeah, that's the QC sticker. Now the one thing I'd like to show is how to remove and replace the thumbsticks. Even though I'll be using the same thumbstick, it's still a basic idea, so simply pull it out. And this one's a little bit different. It's got like a little tripod look, and there's 3 holes as well inside, and you have to make sure that the tripod matches the 3 holes or else you'll break it. So hopefully I'll be careful as I install this. Yeah, this one's a little bit tougher than FlyDig's method. Okay, it's in. Yeah, take extra care when you install the 3D thumbsticks. So, alright, now let's move on to the review. Now with all of that out of the way, I cannot help but think that the Gale HE shares so many similarities to the Vader 4 Pro. Namely, its controller interface, the grip style. Really, if you look at the grip styles, and the back buttons. The back buttons are very, very similar, although slightly different and with different textures, but they're practically the same. Even at the top, you have this down arrow. So, granted, nothing is outright copied or looks exactly alike, but it makes me think that there's only so much design that a company can put into making a controller without losing its luster. Now, I will say this much, that it's probably who BIGBIG wanted to go toe-to-toe with is the FlyDig Vader 4 Pro. The price, everything about it makes it feel like that's who it wants to compete with. On AliExpress, this controller is going for $65 to $80, while this one's going for $59. So, you never know. As far as comfort, I found the Gale HE to be a little bit lighter than the Vader 4 Pro, but it felt even more comfortable in my hands when I played it for long gaming sessions. That's not to say that the Vader 4 Pro felt uncomfortable at all. It's just because it was lighter, this one I could use for longer periods. This controller has some of the best haptic feedback that you can find, and it could rival the controllers that cost between $150 to $200. The Stealth Ultra and the FlyDig Apex 4, even Microsoft's Elite 2. I mean, I was really surprised how much more immersive Doom 2016 was when I played with the controller. The face buttons feel mostly like membrane buttons, a little bit noisier than usual, but they get the job done. Here's a noise test. Shoulder buttons too are pretty loud. So there you go. As far as the D-pad, chef's kiss. Definitely really good. You can use it for Tekken 8 or Street Fighter 6 as you please. Now, a few things I found disappointing are the loudness of the shoulder buttons. Yes, they are Hall effect triggers, but they lack trigger stops, unlike the Vader 4 Pro, which can be essential for a lot of games. I think they could have reduced the noise a little bit more. The battery life is on the short side. Despite having a 1000 milliamp battery, it's listed to last 10 hours. I averaged about 10.5 while using the wireless dongle. Even the Vader 4 Pro lasted longer, which it had the RGB on at full brightness, and that was about 12.5 hours. Now the back buttons are the same setup as FlyDig controllers, with slight differences on the angles and textures, but the general idea is there. When you place your fingers, which means I don't like the setup because it's hard to reach these middle buttons when you're playing the game. I would prefer the setup of the Victrix Pro BFG. Whoever thought that this rear button layout was a good idea should test this gamepad for 6 hours straight just with those back buttons while playing any first-person shooters and see if they develop any cramps after all that usage. The Hall effect sticks are really good on their own. However, it would be nice if they had some tension adjustment like some other controller manufacturers do. And I'm looking at the Elite 2 as one of those. They were fast enough to snap back, as you can see, and they don't feel rubbery while playing 3D games. Although the thumbsticks themselves, the tops specifically, are a little bit on the small side, but they didn't impede gameplay. Now for some specs. As mentioned previously, the Gale Hall costs $59, comes with a 1-year warranty, and has 6-axis gyroscopic controls. It also has turbo functions which can be programmed on BIGBIG app on the PC. When you program macros into the back buttons, you can program up to 50 steps, 50, which is insane, and then you can enter the data into the app. I mean, hot damn, 50 steps? Sounds like a salsa dance class just to pull off that one move. You can also program the single button presses into the back buttons, and supposedly the controller itself offers up to 255 levels of rumble adjustment through their PC app. I did say that it's one of the most immersive haptic controllers out there. The joysticks also have a self-adjusting algorithm to keep them as centered as possible, just so they can maintain their dead zones. One very important feature that this controller has, which I was asked about from other controllers, which is rare, is that you can do keyboard bindings to the rear buttons, which I thought, wow, that's really cool. So any keyboard buttons that you want to bind map to the rear buttons can be done through the software. So keep that in mind, because that's pretty rare. I think it's a boon for many gamers out there, to be honest. Now, another thing to take note is that this controller doesn't support NFC, also known as Amiibo Support, and it doesn't wake up the Nintendo Switch with a one-click wake up. The Gale Hall is compatible with the PC, Switch, iOS, Android. And lastly, the dongle itself is 2.4 gigahertz. And now for some Doom 2016 gameplay.
Demonic presence at unsafe levels. Lockdown in effect.
And now for some Super Castlevania 4 gameplay. The Gale Hull gets a good recommendation from me, although I don't like that it reminds me a lot of the Fly Digit Invader 4 Pro. It's still different enough for the features that it packs, such as the 255 levels of adjustment rumble, keyboard binding rear buttons, and 50-step macros. A longer battery and a better 4-button suite setup would also be appreciated. Other than that, this is a great pad. You won't have any hiccups with Bluetooth and the wireless dongle. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my experience. Thanks for watching this review. To all my viewers, I always appreciate your time. So, till the next video, have a great one and please take care.